Before we begin, pause for just a second. If you're fascinated by hidden history, forgotten military science, and the secrets quietly shaping your survival today, subscribe now. Because what you're about to hear is not just a story from World War II. It's a lost survival hack that has saved millions of toes, fingers, and lives, and almost no one talks about it. What if I told you that one of the deadliest enemies of World War II wasn't bullets, wasn't bombs, but cold air slipping into a boot? World War II didn't just kill with gunfire, it killed quietly, in forests, in trenches, on frozen plains. Frostbite crippled entire divisions, sometimes without a single shot fired. In the winter of 1941 alone, the German army recorded over 100,000 frostbite casualties on the Eastern Front. Not wounded, not dead, disabled, toes blackened, feet amputated. Soldiers permanently removed from the war. And here's the part that should bother you. Most of it was preventable. How could the most advanced militaries on Earth, armed with tanks, aircraft and cutting-edge weapons, fail to protect something as basic as feet? Because they believed something that sounds logical, but was dead wrong. They believed tight boots equals warmth. They were wrong, dead wrong. You know, cold doesn't actually kill tissue just because it's cold. It kills tissue because blood, well, it stops flowing. And blood stops flowing when boots are too tight, or socks compress the circulation, or moisture gets trapped. The foot, then, becomes a sort of sealed icebox. So, the tighter the boot, the colder the foot. It's a bit counterintuitive, isn't it? In the early years of the war, Allied medical officers noticed something rather strange. Some soldiers, often the poorest, least equipped, were not getting frostbite. They weren't wearing any special boots. They weren't tougher. They weren't even particularly lucky. They were simply doing something different. They were wearing loose boots. Sometimes, you know, they'd have on multiple socks. And, well, every now and then they'd even stuff newspaper inside their footwear. The boot wasn't the heater. No, the foot was. So why didn't every army adopt this immediately? Well, because doctrine kills innovation. Quartermasters absolutely hated loose boots. Commanders, too, couldn't stand anything non-standard. And, you know, admitting the mistake meant admitting thousands of injuries were unnecessary. So the knowledge spread, quietly, through medics, through veterans, through whispers. The Red Army learned fast, or froze. They issued felt boots, foot wraps instead of socks, and oversized footwear. Western observers, you know, they mocked them, until winter came. German soldiers, better trained, better armed, were collapsing with frostbite while Soviet troops kept moving. Not because they were stronger, because they understood circulation. Modern physiology confirms it, you know. Frostbite risk increases when blood vessels constrict, pressure limits circulation, and moisture accumulates. But, well, loose footwear, now that preserves blood flow, traps warm air, and allows movement. Movement equals heat, plain and simple. Circulation, Well, that equals survival. The war ended, yes, but the trick didn't. Mountaineers use it even now. Arctic explorers swear by it. Special forces still practice it, quietly. Search and rescue teams today, they size winter boots larger than normal. Not for comfort, for life. So, why doesn't this show up on boot boxes? Why isn't it taught in schools? Well, it's because it doesn't sell sleek gear. It doesn't sound intuitive, and honestly, it contradicts decades of marketing. Tight fit, snug performance, precision sizing. Precision can cost you toes. If you're hiking in winter, working outdoors, camping, or just living somewhere cold, this matters. Here's the rule of thumb. Winter boots, half to one size larger. Never compress your toes. Prioritize dry layers. Wiggle room is survival room. Cold kills silently. Preparation doesn't. World War II spent billions on weapons, but one of its greatest survival discoveries cost nothing. Just space, just air, just letting blood flow the way it was always meant to. How many other life-saving truths are hiding in history, ignored because they're too simple? If this changed the way you think, even a little, stay curious, stay questioning, and make sure you're subscribed. Because history doesn't just tell us where we came from. Sometimes it tells us how to survive what's coming next.